Greetings fellow dungeon delvers and welcome to Dorans and Dragons. My name is Justin and I'm going to be your guide to bringing your favorite League of Legends champions to life in Dungeons and Dragons. Today we're building Kennen, the electric mouse type champion, in the heart of the Tempest. Kennen was a Yordle who found no peace in the boisterous, ever-changing Bandle City and was instead drawn to Ionia, specifically to a group of people who call themselves the Kinku, and sought to seek balance between the material and spirit realms. He joined the Order with the intention of bridging the gap between the passive Eye of Twilight and the overwhelming Fist of Shadow. As the Heart of the Tempest, Kennen is the final vote between the two and helped the Order flourish. Though the invasion of Noxus and betrayal by Zed broke the Kinku, Kennen stands with Shen to protect the First Lands. Before we get started with the build, go ahead and like the video and hit that subscribe button so you're always notified when we release our builds. We'd like to take a minute and thank our awesome patrons over on Patreon who support us every month. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on and the balance maintained. If you like our videos and want to support the channel, come join us over on Patreon today. Just a quick reminder that our Discord is now public for anyone to join. Check out the link down below in my link tree. As a special treat, we'll be doing a Battle of the Builds on July 20th. Anyone who joins the Discord is welcome to join and compete. It'll be a series of 1v1 battles using the channel builds in a bracket-style tournament with the winner earning the right to choose our next champion video outright. Alright, now let's get into it. Here's a quick preview of the build. For race, we're going with Lightfoot Halfling. Per usual, our stats are going to be determined using the standard array. For our stat priorities, we're going to max Charisma and dump Strength. We do have a multi-class requirement of 13 in Charisma and Wisdom. Our leveling path is going to be levels 1 through 6 in Sorcerer. Then we'll pick up 8 levels of Cleric, and finish the build as a Sorcerer. Kennen's passive, Mark of the Storm, is going to come from the various hold creature spells. His Q, Thundering Shuriken, is going to come from Divine Strike. Our W, Electrical Surge, comes from Heart of the Storm. His E, Lightning Rush, will come from Ashardalon Stride. And finally we get our ultimate, Slicing Maelstrom, from Chain Lightning. For race, we're going with Lightfoot Halfling. We'll start off with an ability score increase of 2 to our Dexterity and 1 to our Charisma. Lucky is going to make us immune to nat 1s as long as we don't roll them twice in a row. Brave will give advantage on saves against being frightened. Then you can start weaving through your enemies with Halfling Nimbleness, letting you move through the space of any creature that has a size bigger than you. And finally you get Naturally Stealthy, letting you hide as long as you're obscured by a creature larger than you. Our devotion to the Kinku is going to make Acolyte the obvious choice for background. We'll get proficiency with Insight and Religion and the Shelter of the Faithful feature. Any religious institutions that are friendly with the Kinku will offer you assistance and shelter. For stats, we're going for the balance Kennen has always had in League with the standard array. Roll if you want to, but keep at least a 13 in Charisma and Wisdom for multiclassing purposes. We'll start off with our Charisma at a 15 to channel our electric power and intimidate anyone in range when we press R. Dexterity will be after that so we can actually land our Qs, unlike me when I play him. Wisdom is going to be next for his long life and how he's helped the Kinku. Then we'll take Constitution for staying alive in the thick of things without Azanias. Our Intelligence is going to be average and we'll dump Strength. For equipment, we'll grab a set of studded leather armor for our ninja garb, and we'll reflavor a dart as a shuriken for our Thundering Shuriken. Remember, we can't use our armor until we get our levels in Cleric, so hold off on it for a bit. Alrighty, let's kick things off with some levels in Sorcerer. Sorcerers have a d6 hit die and give you proficiency with darts, persuasion, and intimidation. We'll choose our Sorceress origin at this level as well. We'll honor Kennen's lightning magic with Storm Sorcery. This will give us Wind Speaker, which isn't really relevant to the build unless you want to start chatting it up with random elementals, but Tempestuous Magic will give us a little more movement when we cast spells, almost like a Hextech Protobelt. Before or after you cast a first level spell or higher, you can use your bonus action to jet 10 feet in any direction. Second level sorcerers gain Font of Magic, giving us a pool of sorcery points to use. Right now, these points can only be used as a way to exchange and recharge our spell slots, but starting next level, they'll power our meta magic options. Speaking of meta magic, we'll get our meta magic options this level to really use our sorcery points. The important option for the build is Transmuted Spell, which will let us spend a sorcery point to change any spell that deals acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder damage to any other damage type on the list. Level 3 sorcerers also learn second level spells. We'll get the Hold Person spell for the early version of our passive. You force a wisdom saving throw on any humanoid, and if it fails, it becomes paralyzed. You can upcast this and increase your number of targets for each spell slot level you go up. Hold Monster is going to come in later as a 5th level spell, and will remove the humanoid restriction, but works basically the same way. 4th level sorcerers get the first ability score improvement of the build. As always, we'll give you all of the options here so you can pick and choose for yourself along the way. Starting at Sorcerer 4, we'll get Elemental Adept Lightning, letting our spells ignore lightning resistance and count any 1s on a damage die as a 2. At Cleric 4, we'll get Fighting Initiate to learn the thrown weapon fighting style. You can draw your shuriken as part of the attack action, and you gain a +2 to the damage roll. Then at Cleric 8, it'll be time to start bumping ability scores. For Cleric 8 and Sorcerer 8, we'll max our Charisma with 2 points each. Finally, at Sorcerer 12, we'll even out our Wisdom and Constitution scores with a point each. Level 5 Sorcerers learn 3rd level spells. We'll get our E with a Shardle on Stride and transmute the fire damage to lightning damage. Crackling Lightning will surround you, and for the duration of the spell, your speed increases by 20 feet and you don't provoke opportunity attacks. Also, if you move within 5 feet of a creature, it takes 1d6 lightning damage. At 6th level Sorcerer, we'll get our W with Heart of the Storm. We'll get resistance to lightning and thunder damage, but more importantly, whenever we cast a spell that deals lightning or thunder damage, we get an eruption around us that strikes any creature we choose within 10 feet and deals lightning or thunder damage equal to half our Sorcerer level. Ask your DM to apply the damage after you cast the spell, so it can be like you applying the damage to your marked targets. And now we'll swap over to Cleric to get some more potency with our lightning abilities. Clerics have a d8 hit die and give us proficiency with our armor. We'll choose a Divine Domain here and we'll go with Tempest. This is going to give us Wrath of the Storm, which is like Hellish Rebuke but with lightning or thunder damage instead. If a creature within 5 feet of you hits you with an attack, you can burn your reaction to force a dex save on it, and deal 2d8 lightning or thunder damage on a failed save. We have charges of this based on our Wisdom modifier that recharge on a long rest. 2nd level Clerics get Channel Divinity, which is a once per rest ability that allows us to invoke our deity to empower us. All Clerics get Turn Undead, but Tempest Clerics get Destructive Wrath. Destructive Wrath is going to let you deal maximum damage with your lightning or thunder damage instead of having to roll for it. Use this on your ult for maximum value. By the way, at Cleric 6, you'll get a 2nd charge of this ability to use per rest. 8th level Clerics get Divine Strike, which is going to give us our Thundering Shuriken. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can make the attack deal an extra 1d8 thunder damage to the target. You can also use this as the passive on your W. Level 11 Sorcerers learn 6th level spells. We'll get our ultimate with Chain Lightning. It'll take a little flavoring to get it right, but you'll create a wave of lightning with 1 bolt hitting a creature, and then leaping 30 feet to hit another one. You have 3 bolts after the initial one. Another idea for Kennen's ultimate is transmuting the Cloud Kill spell from poison to lightning. Neither are perfect, but both are good. Alright, now that we've completed the build, let's see how we did. First, the good. This build has a ton of lightning damage, and your Elemental Adept feat is going to strip away resistance from the few creatures that have it. Our ultimate isn't great, but a Shardle on Stride is a perfect E, and our Q and W are pretty dope as well. Now the bad. As I mentioned, the ultimate is kinda lame since it doesn't persist unless you glue with Cloud Kill, but even then it doesn't follow you around. But honestly, that's not that bad. I legitimately think there's a ton of fun to be had with this build, and I hope someone plays it in the upcoming Battle of the Builds. So what'd you think? I've included a link to this build via D&D Beyond in the description below, as well as Amazon links to the books used in this build. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We have a few awesome rewards, and you get access to our great Discord community. We plan on churning out one League Champion build every week. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you on the Rift, or in the Forgotten Realms.